Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to check in with Ferris State Volleyball and joined by head coach Brandel-Wilhelm. Coach, first of all, welcome back to the show and congratulations on a couple wins this past weekend.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thanks for having us here.
I know it was nice to be back at home this past weekend after that long trip to Florida. You came back for start of conference play and got a couple big victories.
Yeah, it was just nice to get a win for sure, especially after our trip to Florida when we weren't quite on par for what we wanted to be doing. But yeah, it was great to play at home again, have our home crowd there, and just have that experience for sure.
Before we get into some of the highlights, this past weekend taking on two opponents, Wisconsin Parkside, Purdue Northwest, the two newest schools here in the GLIAC, and two teams you haven't seen a whole lot of over the years.
Yeah, we've played Purdue Northwest once, and Wisconsin Parkside has been years since we've played them. So yeah, we don't have a lot of experience or memory or history with either program, which definitely is a little bit different in getting ready for them, because usually you kind of know how the teams play and you have a little sense of the style of their defense and the way that their setter's going to run things like that. But this was all new. We had to show pictures to the players and say, this is what they look like and how everything goes. So definitely a little different than what we're used to.
As we go to the match on Friday night against Wisconsin Parkside, got off to a great start and able to jump in front here early and get a 3-0 victory.
Yeah, it was good. Parkside, it's the first time we'd ever played them in conference, so it was kind of a new kind of working things out a little bit with us. But I thought it was great. Again, Maeve did a really good job, our setter, of distributing the ball and just trying to get everybody involved in the offense and try to keep them a little bit off balance. So I think you see a little bit of that as you look at the highlights.
Allison Capel, 12 kills, Michaela Carey with 9. Those two have kind of led you in that category, but a lot of touches for some other players as well.
Yeah, and everybody played in the match, which was really great. And we've had some injuries in practice the last couple weeks, so we've been trying to work on a few other things with what we're doing. It's been a little difficult, but we were able to do that this weekend, and it was really nice to see that.
Player in red, Katie Plasek, with 22 digs, and how much has she meant to you in that role, a new role for her this season?
Yeah, a very new role. We were talking after the weekend that her freshman year she was an right side hitter for us, and then she was an outside as a sophomore, and then back to right side as a junior, and then this year as the libero. And it's definitely the best suited place for her. I mean, she gets giddy. She's so excited to play libero and just be, that player that's serving the rest of her team and just working to make everybody else better. And she's never been a player that's wanted much glory for herself. So this is an ideal spot for her.
You were able to win all 3 sets here, but Wisconsin Parkside battled a team that never really went away during the match.
No, they really play aggressive on defense, so that really keeps them in there, and they have a couple big hitters, so just being able to dig up the ball and throw the ball to your high ball hitters, and they take really big swings. So it was definitely a close match at times.
25-16, 25-15, and 25-20. You get the win, and always nice to start off conference play in your first match with a victory.
Anytime we get a win in the GLIAC, I'm absolutely excited.
Came back on Saturday and took on Purdue Northwest. You had seen them last year. Well, what's been the mark of their program, maybe going from last year to this year in their second year as a GLIAC member?
I think they're much more aggressive in their play. They really get after it from the service line, and the things that they can control, they do a really good job of working to control those. And serving's one of them. They get back there, and they're very specific and aggressive and very paceful with their serve for sure. And they have, I think, some bigger physical players. They have a couple middles that are really a big size difference from last year. So I think that's a big part of the difference. And they play with so much energy. You really can't get them down. They are high energy, excited all the time. And they have a huge bench. They have 10 people, 11 people on their bench all the time, and that they are full of energy all the time.
What were some keys for your team here to get the victory on Saturday?
I think one of the things too, just kind of like Friday, we wanted to get a little bit more parity in our offense and distribute the ball a little bit better. And it was just really nice to see that happening. We wanted to pass better than we did, and that would have helped us, I think, do a little bit more of that. I didn't think it was a really good passing night, and Purdue Northwest definitely served well.
How important was it for you to get some of the players that maybe hadn't seen a lot of action early on in the year, some playing time this past weekend?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing for us. We definitely needed to do that, and we haven't had as many opportunities to do that because we've had some injuries and haven't been able to train people where we see them playing. So this weekend it was nice to have a couple opportunities to get some kids in there.
Obviously, some of those matches you played early on in the non-conference portion of the season really helped prepare you for the start of league action.
Yeah, I mean, we just had such a tough early season schedule. You know, of our first 8 matches, 6 of them are teams that are either in the top 25 or just out of it, getting votes. So it was definitely a very tough preseason, and I hope that it's prepared us for the conference race.
Obviously, a tough trip, as you mentioned last week, going to Florida. Talk about how the kids bounced back maybe this past weekend in these 2 matches.
I think we had to, kind of do some connecting with our goals a little bit more, and just, really make sure that we were training every day in practice the way that we wanted to train, so that we could be the team that we want to be when match time comes. So I think we got a little better with that last week, and I hope that we keep working on that. It's definitely something that we're focused on.
Obviously, a challenge this week going on the road, a match on Tuesday here early in the week against Northwood, and then a big road trip to Michigan Tech, Northern Michigan, the Upper Peninsula this weekend.
It will be really good to get on a road trip where we can just get on the bus and, have our driver who, takes good care of us, and just get on the bus and just spend time together as a team. I think this is a team that really likes each other, and they really enjoy being with each other, and they're all very committed to the same outcomes and the same focus points. So just being able to be on the bus together and have that time, just to build your team, we're very excited for the trip.
Obviously, 3 matches this week, and all 3 opponents traditionally have been some of the stronger teams in the GLIAC.
For sure, yeah. It's kind of like that. We with the new reconfigured GLIAC, it's kind of like pretty much every weekend you're getting to see the stronger teams in the GLIAC. So it'll be competitive and fun, and that's what we train for every day.
Obviously, a long trip, but what are some keys to going on the road here and getting some wins up in the Upper Peninsula?
Oh gosh, a lot of keys, I think, going into that. I think the biggest thing for us is that we, enjoy the process, and that we play our game when we get there, and just, it's fun to go into other gyms and just to keep doing that as we play.
Obviously, in your own gym, you've been very successful here over your career, and certainly here in recent years, back at home, September 21st, 22nd. I know, looking forward to being back here after a long trip, and hopefully some big crowds here for these upcoming conference matches.
Yeah, for sure. I think we have a couple of good matches coming up later in September. One of them is that noon match, so we get lots of school kids that come as a field trip, and that's a pretty cool experience for the team.
Well, Coach, congratulations again on the
Thank you.
wins, and best of luck here as you play a busy road stretch here this week.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.